plant together, we plant together. We are a family, we act together, we act together. We are a family, we act together, we act together. By the end of the workshop, participants should be able to, one, understand the basic eco-literacy principles. We should be able to read the land. We should be able to say, no, I think this land is dying. Or there are some signs that this land is improving.
We are in introduction of holistic resource management, where we have a team from Zimbabwe. They are here at Tlholego Learning Center, building capacity and skills on how we can manage the environment through using the tools of holistic management.
We actually train communities, we train non-governmental organizations, interested individuals in holistic land and livestock management.
The main goal of the workshop is for people to look at things in a different way.
They will graze what they can eat, and what they cannot eat, they can trample. So let's trample it. Let's go. Let's trample.
The changing of the perception in conservation that reduction of animals is the way to heal the land. It's in fact the opposite. It's more about how to manage them correctly so the land rests as well as gets used.
It was not the number of animals which was just causing desertification, you see. It was the way in which the animals were managed. So what you have to do is you have to sit down, you plan how your livestock is going to graze in that given area.
And when we were rating the paddocks, we had to analyze, to observe the landscape, to observe the ecosystem, and then analyze the potential of that paddock.
We are calculating to say how long will the animals stay on a specific piece of land.
The livestock is going to spend so many days in this paddock, and then they are going to shift and they are going to spend so many days in the other paddock.
So they should stay for a certain period and move on. And when they move on, we are allowing plants time to regrow.
We need to repair the soil, we need to feed the soil so that the soil can support the healthy life. It's no good to keep using it without resting it, but it's also no good to rest it without using it.
Okay, make a map there. Limits come down for where he is.
Okay, can you go this way a bit?
You identify areas which need specific attention. Say, for example, you find that there is an area which has some bare ground on one of the paddocks, or maybe there's an area which has some bush encroachment. So as the livestock is grazing in each of those paddocks, when you get to that area which is sort of bare, put your livestock together for a few minutes, and with their hooves they are going to break the crust. And at some stage they will also dung and urinate on that portion. By so doing, they are making that area conducive to grass growth. Then after some time, you allow them to graze again on the other side of the bare portion. You do that twice, 3 times. The following season, you'll see that there will be some grass plants coming up on that bare portion. Look at what they're doing. They will be dunging and urinating here. And at the same time, if you look at this oxidizing grass, you know, it will be trampled down and green shoots will be exposed to the sun.
As we feed the soil feeds us, so we then take responsibility for the soil health by ensuring that the soil is always being fed, is being watered, is being clothed or covered.
Now, as they are moving here, the hooves are cracking that hard grass. They are also laying the dung and urine.
What actually happens when the rain falls on bare ground? What happens when rain falls on covered soil? They carried out an experiment, you see.
1, 2, 3, turn them upside down.
We actually had 3 plots. 1 plot we just left bare, okay? The other plot we impacted with animals. We just used some sticks as proxy for the animals. And the other area, it was impacted and also covered. And we exposed the same 3 plots to the same amount of water. And the participants actually stated what they were actually seeing, what they were observing. So that it is their own program, right? It shouldn't just be the key people, it should be the community members being involved from the onset so that they have total ownership of the whole program. We are using a community mobilization tool which we call the community action cycle.
We go step by step. Instead of just going straight into training communities, we start with their leaders so that they understand. We create awareness among the community members. Then we start with a smaller group which we call the core group. That's us working and producing living examples. Then now we can spread the idea to the broader communities.
By engaging the community members, we are ensuring that they are fully involved and they fully understand exactly what you're talking about. We discuss with them how the area was and how it is now, and we look at the differences, and so and maybe together we move on from that situation to a situation where they say, okay, fine, we have a problem in our community, we now want to take action.
Holistic method di dintle di bonolo ga dina bothata le seng as long as you follow tuto ele e we feeling ele. But the main point is area go fitlhella gore re implement method.
And to those who are willing to start with me, especially my siblings, people, my contemporary, those people whom I schooled with, whom they can understand and trust that if we can start this, we can change the mindset of this whole community. We will eventually try to transplant it to other nearby villages and communities.
Of great importance is that this concept should be fully understood by the leaders because they yield a lot of influence.
Is then you can go to the leadership and explain what you have planned, what you want to do with the community. From now, I'm going to tell the community that we must have the power, we must have no fear to allow our livestock to crumble in our gardens so that for the future, the land will be fertile and healthy.
Ko tloga mo ke ya ko difamareng tsaka ke implementa dilo tse ba nthutileng tsona ka holistic. And I hope and trust that the farmers ba ba nang le passion mo farming ba tla kgona go tla go tlo ithuta ka seo re ithutileng sona.
Changes on the land, they don't happen overnight. Because destroying the land did not happen overnight. It took many centuries to come to the state in which the land is. So it will take several years. But if people are consistent, the results are very positive.
So ultimately what we're saying here is, what do we need to do to feed the soil, to look after the soil? How do we do that process? And it's simple. You need to give it food, nutrients, you need to give it water, you need to then cover it with something, as we do, put clothes on our bodies to stop us getting burnt in the sun. The same, the soil is like your mother. She needs food, she needs water, she needs to be covered and dressed, either in dead material or in live material, green matter. Everything starts and ends in the soil.